Folks, I got a challenge for the 12s today. The most new subscribers that we have gotten on a single video for the month of June so far is 40, which is okay, not great, but I know you guys can do better than that, folks. So here's the task, the assignment ahead today. I want 50 new subscribers off today's video. And you may be wondering, what does a subscription to Seattle Seahawks Today get me? Well, you get daily coverage, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day, or news and rumors, live shows 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are also bringing you breaking news, Q&A mailbags. We have Madden Sims for every game of the 2025 season and more, all right here on your one-stop shop for all things Seattle Seahawks. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV, and we'll get started with today's show. Big move coming? That very well could be the case, my friends. Welcome in to this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Schultz, here with you. Thanks for joining us. On today's program, we have 3 free agent targets that the Seattle Seahawks could go after at 3 different positions. They have plenty of cap space, over $30 million at their disposal. So who could they potentially sign to improve this roster just a little bit before training camp? Let's go ahead and get started on the defensive side of the ball. We begin with Asante Samuel Jr., the 25-year-old corner, most recently with the Los Angeles Chargers. And with what we saw earlier this week of Jair Alexander signing with the Baltimore Ravens, it made me wonder, how's Asante Samuel Jr. still available? He's been an unrestricted free agent this whole cycle, and he's had a good run in the National Football League. He was solid with the Los Angeles Chargers. He did deal with some injuries here and there, but it's a bit of a head-scratcher. And here's some good news, I will say, on an update of this situation with Asante Samuel Jr. compared to what it was even just a couple of days ago. I know Seattle is not struggling when it comes to cash. They have plenty of money at their disposal. But after Jair Alexander ended up signing for just $6 million on that one-year deal, Asante Samuel Jr., I don't think anybody is going to get him mistaken with Jair Alexander. Asante Samuel's very good, but he's not as good as Jair Alexander is. And so here's where I'm going with this, folks. That hurt the market. The price tag of what Asante Samuel Jr. was probably looking for, because teams are going to look at Asante Samuel Jr. and say, why would we pay you more money than Jair Alexander when you're not as good as Jair Alexander is? So you would think, even though Seattle doesn't have a money problem, money's not an issue here, that he should sign for less than $6 million, and you don't take too much cap space, then you still have more money potentially to work with if you're Seattle. So that, my friends, is a very good thing. Now, what type of player are you potentially getting in Asante Samuel Jr.? Let's go over some of the numbers, these statistics for you all. We go back to 2021, his rookie campaign, when he was able to have 43 tackles, 1 TFL, 11 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. He followed that up in 2022 with even better numbers, with 57 tackles, 1 TFL, 11 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. And then in 2023, the numbers improved again with 63 tackles, 1 TFL, 13 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. Last year, got banged up, only played in 4 games, and that appears to be where everybody's concerned. But I would say this, folks. This is what I would put out there when it comes to Asante Samuel Jr. Well, I understand the injury concern, the cause for concern with Asante Samuel Jr. He has not missed much time outside of last season, okay? I would not read too much into that of really, what is it? You take the other 3 seasons, he's missed a total of 5 games in a 3-year stretch, and then he missed most of last year. That's not going to cost you much. I think that's a gamble, and I don't even know if you want to call it a gamble because it's not going to cost too much. That's worth taking if you're Seattle, and you start him at outside corner. Josh Jobe becomes a backup for you, and all of a sudden you got some real depth. I think that'd be a real win-win for this Seahawks defense, a defense that wants to be elite. Asante Samuel Jr. can help their cause. Your chance to be the GM here on Seattle Seahawks today. Should the Seahawks sign Asante Samuel Jr.? You got two options. Type S for sign, P for pass. Weigh in the comments section and tell me what you think. Next up, we find Amari Cooper, the 31-year-old receiver who's had a fantastic career in the National Football League. He most recently was with the Buffalo Bills. Prior to that, with the Cleveland Browns and the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders. And I would say outside of most recently with Buffalo, he's been successful everywhere he's been. Now, granted, he didn't play that great in Buffalo most recently, but that Buffalo team was still really good. He didn't hurt them. He was not the reason why that they lost in the AFC Championship game. Bottom line, if you're the Seattle Seahawks, you think about this situation that you find yourselves in the wide receiver room right now. There is a great unknown, I think, with the receiving core heading into 2025. You know that you're going to get a superstar in Jackson Smith-Njigba. It's really emerging. That's on the rise. Cooper Kupp, you're optimistic about, but you don't know about his health status of what that's going to be going forward. Okay? And then you got MVS. And I have some concerns about MVS, as I think a lot of you probably do as well. If you want a stacked receiver room, if you want to be in a situation where you're saying to yourselves, you know what? Doesn't matter if Cooper's not going to be healthy all season. Doesn't matter if MVS is going to be inconsistent. We're going to play our odds, and we're going to have plenty of options in this receiver room by adding Amari Cooper to this mix. And then you're in a position of strength, and you put Sam Darnold in a position to succeed that somebody on any given week can step up and have a big night. More on Amari Cooper. He's got the best resume of any free agent that's available right now. A 5-time Pro Bowler, 2015, 2016, 2018, 2019, and most recently in 2023, a Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team selection in 2015. And here are the numbers that we're talking about when it comes to Amari Cooper. In 2021, he, in 15 games played, had 865 yards, 8 touchdowns. And Jerry Jones thought he was done, thought he was washed, only gave him up for a 4th-round pick. And boy, was Jerry mistaken, as he went off in back-to-back seasons in Cleveland with over 1,100 yards in 2022 and 9 touchdown scores. 2023, his yardage was up to over 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, and his average was up 17.4. And then last year we saw a bit of a decline as he started the year in Cleveland, then went to Buffalo after the trade deadline. But it wasn't a bad season. 44 catches, 557 yards, and 4 touchdowns. If that's your numbers for a number 3 receiver, which I think he would pass MVS up in the depth chart, I can live with that. I would like the idea of Amari Cooper. So, your chance to sound off in the comments section. Should the Seahawks sign Amari Cooper? Type Y for yes, N for no. Weigh in the comments section and tell us what you think. Seahawks fans, we got a great deal we're offering right now as we have T-shirts on sale for $15.99 while supplies last at chatsports.com/Seahawks tee. This is a Nike tee. I'll be honest, it's not very often that we're talking about Nike merchandise being on sale, so we wanted to make sure you guys knew about this, that you took advantage of it. It's getting hot outside. You need some T-shirts. You need to be repping your favorite team. Why not a Nike Seahawks T-shirt? $15.99 is all it costs at chatsports.com/Seahawks tee to get yours today. All sorts of different shapes and sizes. We also have other Seahawks merchandise available at that same link. Go check it out now. Chatsports.com/Seahawks tee to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Last on our list is offensive guard Brandon Scherff, who was most recently with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you look at this offensive line situation for Seattle, and I think that we all sit here today on June 18th, 2025, feeling better, but not necessarily great about this offensive line circumstance right now. Left tackle spot with Charles Cross looks really good. If Abe Lucas stays healthy, he's going to be solid at the right tackle position. Olu, I'm optimistic about, but I still don't know. Gray Zabel, I think, is going to do a really good job, but he's going to be just a rookie. And then the right guard spot is anybody's guess at this point. Bradford, Haynes, none of them have proven a damn thing. You bring in Brandon Scherff, even if he gets beat out by Haynes or Bradford. If I could have him sitting behind one of those guys or behind Zabel and be ready to go to potentially step in if there's an injury or if somebody struggles, then you're feeling a lot better about the circumstance you find yourself in. And you look at the resume, it's fantastic. A former first-team All-Pro in 2020, a five-time Pro Bowler in 2016, 2017, 2019 through 2021, previously with the Commanders and most recently with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I know that he is a little bit older now, but even with that said, maybe you're not getting the Pro Bowl version of Brandon Scherff, but you're still getting a player that held his own last year with a solid overall grade according to Pro Football Focus at 64.7. Pass block grade was really good, 74.5. Run block grade at 57.3. Did not allow a single sack and only got called for 2 penalties. And those two stats are fantastic to see. So I would be all in on this possibility. I like all three of these guys. If you only had to pick one to sign, which one would you lean towards? Asante Samuel Jr., Amari Cooper, or Brandon Scherff? Type AS for Asante Samuel Jr., type AC for Amari Cooper, type BS for Brandon Scherff. Weigh in the comment section. Tell us what you think. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.